Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Different time slot today, so hopefully we didn't throw off too many people, but figured I'd just play around, see what the story is. Sort of got people from all over the world, so why not cater to everyone? So early morning for me, but might be late night for some of you, but I'm glad that you can be here. Anyway, so I think we got an action-packed topic today. As you might notice, I'm sort of in the zone. I'm ready to go. I've had my cup of coffee here, and we got an hour of power today. Do have a bit of a tendency to ramble and stuff like that, so we're gonna stick to the script today. However, if you do have any questions, as always, feel free to pop them down in the chat. Happy to be derailed anytime. So, talking about cold water fish, it's pretty topical today because it is a chilly old morning. As you can see, I got the jumper happening here. So hope you're well wherever you are, and it's all going well. I'm just sort of keeping one eye on the JH Aquatics stream here, but I think he's finished, but I just wanted to go because I noticed there was a few people waiting here, so that's all good. As well, shortly after the hour, we'll hand over to Q Aquatics too, so keep an eye out for that, and let's jump in and say good day. So somehow, no matter what time I go live, whether it's the usual Thursday nights here, Wednesday mornings in the States, Bodgy always gets the chockies. So he was first in again today. What have I got for him to celebrate? We got a bit of celebration music. There you go, mate. Congratulations, Bodgy. You get the points again this week. Well done. And then Nath Fishboy was here as well. So we do have a couple of Australians early risers, so well done to you guys. Alien World Aquatics, welcome to the stream. And Micken, thanks for coming by. G'day Jesse, Teresa Cookie, and yeah, I think we've got a good stream ahead. I hope so anyway. These days, I don't know, I'm getting more and more into cold water tanks. As you might have noticed, I've got a few scapes happening, so I'm less inclined to actually put a heater in. So that's why I thought up the topic today. We'll roll with cold water tanks. That is not to say cold water as in put all the ice in the tank and chill that sucker right down. Just mainly heaterless tanks, but it's a bit more wordy to say it that way. We have had a few more stroll through. We got Taters. Welcome, Taters. Alice KH. Hey, how you going? Yeah, very good, very good. So I do have some notes and things here. We'll switch over to the topic screen. That threw me off because I was on the wrong one. And I need to pop up this one chat. And we're good to go. All right, so got a couple of exciting fish here. Maybe ones that don't instantly come to mind, but who knows? We'll get into it anyway. So, yeah, sort of said we're talking about cold water tanks, but really unheated tanks is probably more correct term. Most of them, you should still keep them around the 20 degrees Celsius or 68 Fahrenheit. So if it gets colder than that, don't stick the tank outside or whatever. Most room temperature. I don't know, Alice, but I'm going to go ahead and take a stab about yesterday that it might be shark related. Let me know. Early riser is your nickname. 5 a.m. Nath. Well done. That you're attacking the day, that's for sure. Usually I'm up at 7 anyway, so I was up an hour ago, but it was a bit of a rush. Usually I like a bit more time than that to just get myself organized, get prepared here. I don't like the late minute push to press buttons. 11 degrees last night. Yeah, I think it was pretty similar here as well, Nath. Very, very chilly overnight. What else is happening here? Okay, looks like I nailed it there. Aquaballs, how you going? Excuse me. G'day, Matt Van der Kooy. How are you? Hopefully that's how you pronounce your name. So yeah, I mean, we still want the water temperature to be around the 20 degrees 68 Fahrenheit mark, but that's most room temperature will be like that. I mean, if it is like we're talking about with Nate there, 10 degrees overnight, which is, oh geez, I don't know what that is, probably like 40 something Fahrenheit. Oh no, oh, the raid. That was so funny. If you don't know the context around the I don't even want to say the hashtag, but I guess it's a product, so I'm allowed to. The hashtag dribble flap. JH was doing it as part of his giveaway. I'd never heard of that particular product before, but yeah, it's certainly one that may not come across PG at first glance, but that's a ripping raid hashtag there. Well done. And also, g'day to everyone who's rolled in here. And if you are a fresh face, then it's great to have you. Hopefully, you see something that you enjoy. But wow, that is certainly one way to raid, folks. Well done. I can say the product names then, but I certainly can't say the line that Joseph said that I think even he wished he hadn't said. Somebody else might be able to put that in the chat. I don't know. So what we were doing, for those of you that just got here, we were just prefacing the really good topic I think that we've got today, which is all about cold water tanks. Starting to do some aquascaping and stuff, and really less inclined to put a heater in. So that was the inspiration behind this one. If you are new to this, my stream, I think, I usually do Thursday nights Australia time, Wednesday early mornings after Pam. But yeah, with King and Queen having the day off, I thought, why not take up the opportunity and test out a bit of a new time. So in the market for a time, and this is a possibility, but obviously with King and Queen in this slot, might have to be a different day, but we'll see. We'll see how everyone goes. So usually I just sort of say that if you're in the chat, you're lurking, feel free to make yourself known. A safe space to ask any questions, even though we do have a topic. Happy to be derailed anytime. And yeah, I think we should have a fun one today. So I'm really I'm really feeling the time pressure of the hour of power. Typically, I tend to waffle on for about 4 to 6 hours, so it's going to be an interesting one. I think we'll blink and time will be over, but we'll try and fly through all this material. Oh, going to summertime with some Vietnamese white clouds. Very nice. Very nice. Spoiler alert, they are on the list, of course. It wouldn't be much of a cold water tank list without the classic white cloud. But I am a big fan of golden white clouds and also longfin white clouds. So, yeah, big white cloud fan in general. And smash the like button. Thanks, DPK. Appreciate that. And Zen. Awesome. So, quite a few people did stroll in. So, I think we'll take up our whole time slot if we run through all the individuals, as I try to do usually, but we'll just say an overarching g'day to everyone. Welcome to the stream. I'm really glad to have you, and I think it should be a good one. So big pros to cold water tanks / unheated tanks. Don't have a big old ugly heater. Massive plus in my mind. I mean, ugly heaters may be a bit of an interesting thing. You can get nice heaters, but they cost about an arm and a leg. So for the most of us, we just have the old ugly glass rod that is way bigger than it needs to be, in my opinion. But yeah, so no ugly heater, no risk of the heater sticking on or waltzed in. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, maybe that's an Australianism, waltzing, Matilda. But anyway, no risk of the heater sticking on or it, not working and you're not realizing. So that's kind of a good thing. In my opinion, I think fish actually are stronger in the unheated environment. Yeah, that's true, Chewy. King and Queen, they have a lot of crossovers with the Australians. So it's an interesting one. First of all, there was the crossover with the Aquamate and Friends, or the Dr. Thirsty Mate streams, and now I'm I'm putting my little stamp for the day on this time slot. So it is interesting. We seem to have a bit of a good back and forth, King and Queens and us Aussies down here in this corner of the world. Very good, Lyndon. Yeah, I'm glad that you could catch it. Appreciate it. So yeah, I think in an unheated environment, you actually have stronger fish. And Jesse, there you go. Yeah, we have a lot of crossovers too. You're a really good supporter of me, so I appreciate that. And yeah, I wanted to make sure to catch a bit of your stream earlier this morning as well, just to do my bit. So yeah, it was a great stream as well. And yeah, I think you're always really knowledgeable. So if you are here, yeah, I think everyone here has probably checked out Jesse, but if you haven't, suss him out. He's a good operator. Yeah, stronger fish, because sometimes I wonder about keeping the fish at one temperature all year round. It's not exactly a natural process, and over time, particularly in guppies and stuff like that, people have spoken about in the past, before guppies were in the quantities they are, people used to attempt to purposefully breed them in temperatures that change drastically, so as to breed out a stronger product. So I believe that changing the temperature dynamically, like what happens in an unheated tank, certainly makes for stronger fish. And even if you are keeping tropical fish, I don't see any harm with actually every now and then dialing down the heater, dialing up the heater, just playing around with it a bit and building up a bit of strength. All right, I'll just make sure that I don't miss anything. Oh, thanks, JH. Yeah, I'm a bit of a plant nut. It's not the best photo of the fish room. I could find a better one. I tried to the other day, but yeah, it usually has a lot of packaging material and stuff in the background, so it's not a live photo. Where did you find someone who cuts my hair? I would come to Australia. Well, I just did it myself, so luckily I didn't need to find anyone. But yeah, just don't have a look at the back. What's my favorite small cichlid? Definitely happy to cover that one off, Chewy. Bit of a pisto nut, so it would have to be the Epistogramma McMasteri. Love the colors and the sort of even body shape, feathering. I was thinking of Cacatoides there. Fin structure of Epistogramma McMasteri is a ripper. Oh, thanks, Ed. Yeah, it is. It is. Well, I did get up at 7, but that's all right. Happy to do my part. So I think it's been a pretty good experience. So also, because Joseph is here, thanks for handing over. It was really exciting getting to the end, watching the time tick over, and yeah, thanks for sending people my way. Appreciate that. All right. So the other good thing about cooler water is the fish are going to have slower metabolism, so they're typically going to last longer. I mean, obviously, it depends on the fish. You want to make sure that they can handle that sort of environment. For example, like I wouldn't go putting a discus in an unheated tank, especially in my climate where it's quite cold, because most likely it will do more than slow down their metabolism, probably slow down their entire function. So if your fish are capable of living in a cooler environment, then yes, they will have slower metabolism and live longer. Particularly obvious in cherry shrimp. They'll live, maybe 2 to 3 years in cooler temperatures. But if you crank it up, they'll probably have a lot more babies and you'll be able to make more quantity, but they might live only around the 1 year mark, something like that. So cooler water, slower metabolism, longer lasting fish. Some of the cons are cooler water, slower metabolism. Potentially your plants are going to grow stronger. This is why I don't just waiting on that coffee to kick in. The plants might grow a bit slower, but yeah, I mean, with everything, there's extremes, of course. So really hot temperatures, some plants might not be able to take it as well. Taters, probably not. Probably won't do a Patreon I don't think. Yeah, I think I'd just rather. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel the need to monetize things or anything like that. I'm just happy doing what I do. So yeah, most likely won't do the Patreon thing. Thanks, Gina. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just having fun doing this thing. And happy birthday, Gina. Well, hopefully you have a great day. How cool, Eileen? I think I like to keep them around the 21, 22 Celsius. Let me just consult my conversion thing, which is 70 to 72 Fahrenheit. I think that's a pretty good temperature for cherry shrimp. But yeah, I've got them in unheated nano tanks in here. So, I mean, it stays pretty warm in here. I don't have a thermometer. Oh, actually, I do. I can tell you exactly what it is. One second. Okay. So, it is 18 degrees Celsius in the unheated shrimp tank now, which is what? 64. So, certainly not too bad. I guess it's morning here, so that's probably as low as it's going to get. So, yeah, 18 degrees in unheated tanks here. All right. We got a couple of questions here. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. All right, Mark von Wisco. When I was a kid, we had an unheated 15-gallon with guppies, angelfish, cories, bred plenty of guppies without issue, and a breeding pair of marble angels. Yeah, nice. I guess the thing is, depends on where you are in the world. If you're lucky enough to live on the equator or, near the Amazon, every fish there lives in an unheated aquarium. So, I mean, those that are out of captivity. But, yeah, if you live in a warm area, I guess it's totally fine. For most of us, well, that's a generalization. But for those of us that live in sort of more temperate climate, we are a bit limited. So, some other pros that we have more opportunities for a nice aquascape. Cons are there is a risk of unexpected temperature swings shocking fish. Like a big problem that I have down in my area is I live at the very bottom of Australia, so we get the Australian heat, but we also do get the close proximity to Antarctica cold. So it can be, there's sort of like a colloquial saying that we get all the weather in every day. So it can be the case that one day it's like 40 degrees and then the next day it's like 27 degrees, something like that. So temperature swings aren't generally a good idea. You do still want to maintain some semblance of stability. So that is a bit of a risk with unheated tanks if you live in areas like mine where, there's a high prevalence of temperature change. And another great pro is, and especially for people who run fish rooms, is you don't need to have as much stuff plugged in, which I think is always a positive. I'm always a bit reluctant to plug in more things around here because I think we're probably at max as it is, but I'm not an electrician. Yeah, that's right. So Jesse, you're very lucky to live in a nice climate there. So you're only heating the German blue rams. That is the dream. And it's quite funny. Even these days, I've thought of moving, to the higher regions of Queensland just so that I could do a lot more stuff like year-round outdoor ponds and just get rid of all the heaters. But who knows? Might be a bit of a pipe dream for the future. All right, so we are at the point now where we can start to talk about fish. Looking at the list here, the first one some of you may not be familiar with, but it might be a different name. So the first one is the Yabbie, which is something that we have down here. I think I'm not exactly sure if they're the same as the crawfish that you guys have over there, but yeah, we have Yabbies down here. So these guys, you can keep really cold, 12 degrees to 20 degrees. So they're a year-rounder outside. Like many crayfish, crawfish, they're protein eaters, and they will just shred your plants for the fun of it. So planted tanks might be a bit of a no-no. They do sometimes eat fish opportunistically, so yeah, keep an eye on that. And they do also fight each other too, so you might find that one of their claws is missing or something the next day. So to keep these guys happy, you just want to give them lots of territory, lots of little caves and stuff where they can set up shop and keep to their own. So that's the first one on the list. Crystal Blue Yabbies Australian coming over here. Yeah, Nath Fishboy here is the expert on Yabbies, more so than I am, but just you couldn't leave him off the list. I have thought about keeping Yabbies before. I haven't yet, but red claws are a cool one, yeah. I haven't seen them in the shop, but yeah, I just like the blue Yabbies. They're pretty cool too. Bottom of Australia, Perth. The other side. So, yeah, an hour, 100 kilometers south of Melbourne, 60 miles south of Melbourne, basically where I am. So on the coastline at the very south of the east side of Australia. Next one is a classic. I'll sort of get through the obvious ones first. Goldfish. Obviously, I think most of us here know that these guys like to produce waste. Sometimes they don't play well with plants. I mean, it depends on which ones. You get the epiphytes and you'll be fine. If you're a beginner, go with the single tail varieties like comets, which are going to be typically more hardy. Big tank players with lots of filtration, and they play well with others, but they can be victims of nipping, especially from some of the other options that we've got here on the list. All right, thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. So Yabbies and crayfish are the same by the looks of it. Oh, yeah, very close. So that's good to know. Probably should have fact-checked that beforehand, but we live on the edge here. Of course, we can't have a cold water fish list without Danios. These guys are very fast and active, easy to breed. Just set up a tank with some marbles and stuff. Happy to talk further on that if anyone wants me to in the comments. They can sometimes be a bit nippy, but they are plant safe. They'll eat anything. And there are some cool varieties too. Zebra Danios here on the screen, but they're also gold ring Danios, leopard Danios, yeah, a whole bunch of different types, and yeah, different varieties within the type as well. So pretty cool options here with the Danios. Hey, Anthony's fish friends, thanks for strolling in or waltzing in, as Bob pulled me up on before. Yes, Jesse, cool. Next on the list we've touched on earlier, but it's the classic white cloud. This here is the quote unquote standard version, but white clouds are a really good fish. I'm year rounding them down here outside, so I have attempted to do so before, but I think they were just a bit young going through their first winter, so I'm gonna give it a go again. And yeah, these guys are cool, super peaceful, stunning, easily bred again. They'll eat anything. I see them as like the neon tetra of the unheated tanks. And yeah, long fins are super underrated. In if you can find them, pick them up, because yeah, I reckon they're awesome. Australian crayfish are not allowed in your country. Very invasive. Okay. Endangered in Australia, prolific in the Great Lakes. There you go. Yeah, it's funny how that goes. Different, I guess, predators and stuff that exist around the world. They might have a certain predator down here that doesn't exist in the Great Lakes. Yeah, that would be ideal, Chewy, but I guess that comes with its own risk of cross-contamination and all those, introducing some microscopic organism down here that could wreak havoc and all that. Poor man's neon, yeah. It's quite funny how the poor man's things come into fashion. Poor man's neon, I think people are really getting to like the white clouds these days, and also the Waru, famously with the king of DIY, sort of popularizing them again in a way. The poor man's discus. Both of those seem to be doing pretty well at the moment. So that is kind of an interesting anecdote for sure. Yeah, we have a similar thing down here, Chewy, as well. Just trying not to introduce anything further than we already have. Cool. Let's keep making our way through the list. How many? So we got 4 down, and we've got a bunch to go. So for time, we're actually going okay, I think. And we will get into a bit more exciting ones shortly. Well, actually, right now, I think this one's an exciting one. I'm a big fan of these guys. These Japanese rice fish, Medaka rice fish, and these guys are really cool. So pretty much bulletproof in terms of fish. They'll handle anything. So they're called rice fish because they're from the rice paddies in Japan. But one thing is, there's a variety called Daisy's rice fish, which Pam from Punchy Paints famously has bred the entire world's population of them. And those guys are not so tolerant of the cold. So certainly the Japanese variety of rice fish are more accustomed to non-heated tanks. So these guys are more you go. But they do something really cool, which is, I've got a photo over here. If you can see on the back end there, they carry their eggs on the outside, and then they just swim around and just put them on plants and stuff as they go on by. So I think that's really cool to see, and not often you can visually see that you're successfully breeding fish and stuff like that before you see a little fry or something in the tank. So I think that's a really cool aspect about these fish. Yeah, Japan ones are cool. I've got some platinum rice fish. They have these really nice that way blue eyes, and they can, yeah, they're really cool. So they hang out more at the top water. So they're a good little candidate for bowls, or like if you have a big terracotta sort of vase or bowl, like a giant one. I mean, like an urn, I guess is more the go. But yeah, they're a good candidate for that. Also, they will eat anything. They kind of hang out around the top a bit more. And what else have I got here in my little notes? Bulletproof. Yeah, beautiful blue eye. And you can get a variety of colors too. So yeah, I've got platinum ones, but you can get oranges, blues, I think, and a bunch of different varieties. But most common, especially down in my area, platinums and oranges. And yeah, so they're a great option. What else have we got here? We'll just check back in on the chat. Jesse got an exciting package by the sounds of it. What's happening here? Very good. The eggs look like the edge part of a flower. Yeah, I guess so. And it is kind of weird. I noticed it the first time before doing any Googling, and it was I was like, what is going on there? Have we got a bit of a terrible word once again, but have we got a bit of a prolapse or some kind of situation? Is that some weird parasite or something? But yeah, just eggs. Just eggs. Have any of you ever kept Hemigrammus Morse code VF? Oh, they sound pretty cool. I'm going to save that for later for Googling purposes. Copy. You have Morse code? I'm not sure. Dual swapper. All right. Cool. We'll keep moving. Kohaku rice fish. Oh, that seems like another thing we can Google. Actually, I'll save these, and if we run short of time, we can pull them up. Rice fish. All right. Keep moving through, I guess, and see what's next on the list. I think from memory, next one was pretty cool too. Yeah, it is. Mini stingrays. the old-fashioned hill stream loach. These guys, like, you want your house to be around the sort of 20 to 23 degree mark, like 68 to 75, around that. They're great algae eaters. They do kind of look like mini stingrays. They're kind of alien looking, so that's kind of cool. People will, if they're not fish people, they'll come over and be impressed at whatever they are. Give them a fair bit of flow though, because they do come from a hill stream environment, so streams going down hills typically are not still. So you want to keep them in a bit of a fast flow, but these guys are certainly a good candidate for unheated tanks. Oh, Shep's Aquatics, how you going? Love me and leave me. No worries, mate. Have a good day at work. No worries, Barbara. Appreciate that. We are closing in on the 900, so that's going to be exciting. So hopefully we can hit another milestone soon. So yeah, hill stream loaches are nice. I'm a fan. They're hard to come by down here. But if they are available in your area, pick up a hill stream loach. I certainly would if I had some. If I see some. All right, so now we're up to the old cherry shrimp. These guys literally come in every color of the rainbow. Is that true? I think so. Except maybe magenta. No, that's not a color of the rainbow anyway. Anyway, just ignore my rambling. So cherry shrimp are cool, easy to breed. You don't have to do anything. Main thing you have to do with these guys is make sure they're not going to get predated on. Okay, and a fish that I'll bring up shortly that Taters is talking about keeps them with shrimp, so that's good. You want to make sure that these guys are not going to be eaten. You'll notice that the female will sort of carry the eggs in the underbelly. Really cheap to pick up these days, and you can also play around with the genetics a bit if you want to get a bit mad scientist on these guys. For example, I've got I started off with 10 black chocolate cherry shrimp, I think they are, or black rose cherry shrimp, and I've managed to get the lines so that these shrimp are so black, like jet black, and also I've pulled from them a line of Bloody Mary shrimp, like bright red, and they will also throw blues, except both times I've pulled the blues out shortly after I've put a fish in, which has simply removed them. So that is the key, is you just want to make sure that nothing's going to eat them. And yeah, they'll just cruise around eating on biofilm and all that sort of fun stuff. And not a lot else to say about these guys. Be careful with ferts and cherries. Yeah, that's true. Nitrates can rise quickly, and they don't like too much water changes. It's an interesting one, Chris. Yeah, I think that's probably a fair point. They don't really like nitrates, but I've found them to be fairly durable with water changes. Crystal shrimp, on the other hand, not so, but cherry shrimp I find to be really hardy, really tolerable of a wide variety of water parameters. And yeah, they sort of end up in all my tanks just accidentally over time. So maybe it's a genetic issue in your area or something like that. It might vary in proximity. So the ones that I've managed to get my hands on down here, and maybe because they're like multiple generations in my water, they're more forgiving too. So you will find that down the track, as more generations come out, they might be a bit more hardy and tolerate what's in your water, what's in your particular type of fertilizer that you use, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, exactly. So Pat is sort of consistent here. Yeah, I do a 50% water change once a week. That's pretty much my regiment here. So I don't adjust that for the shrimp tank at all. No worries, Aquarium Cowboy. Thanks for swinging by. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Is it best to have them in planter tanks? Yeah, for sure. Couple of reasons. It'll give them heaps of places to hide. They will feel safer and be more likely to procreate, and also to give plenty of area for the babies to graze on too. Like more plants is more surface area, is more area for biofilm to accumulate in. So I'd certainly keep them in a planter tank if you can. Alright. Spotted marsh frogs, cool, Max. I'm planning a build of a paludarium coming up, or Bavarian paludarium, one of those. And I was looking at some frogs, but yeah, I don't know. But spotted marsh frogs are pretty cool. And also, hey Max, thanks for coming by. Alrighty. I had a bad outcome with cherry shrimp in a 2 new tank. Since been told older, more seasoned tanks work better. Been shrimp shy since then. Yeah, that's a fair call, Barbara. I think shrimp are one of those things where once you sort of get the hang of it, you'll like there's just a couple of little things, and once you get those down, you'll be like, oh, these are the easiest things in the world. So I'm not ashamed to say that I had a couple of runs at it before became, I guess, they became like a virus or whatever. I can just keep them in anything. But yeah, it took a little while, and I do attribute that to them handling the particular water parameters that are here versus what they were bred in. So yeah, I think that it's not a thing to be ashamed about. If you fail the first time, my suggestion would be try and source them from a local area to you, that they'll already be accustomed to a lot of whatever you have in your water, and yeah, maybe you'll have success the next time. But certainly it's a great tip. The older tanks, the better. Even if you've got like an old tank and you just pull out the gravel and stick that in, or like the Aquasoil or whatever you're running, and use old gravel, or put in some old some plants from another tank, or just something just to get that started with the little microfauna and all that, then that'll go a long way as well. Oh, thanks, Taters. Appreciate that one. I do try and put a bit of work into them. Not sure if it shows or not. Thanks, Zen, for the link work. Very well done. Appreciate that. And Nath, can you mix them with fish? If so, what type of fish? We might as well bring it back on the screen. Hey, if we can have a look at it. Yeah, so I have them in with different fish. I quite like the combo of bristlenose, cherry shrimp, and guppies, because all three I've found to successfully breed in the same tank at once, which I think is really awesome when you can get that to work. And I've found it to happen with multiple varieties too. So guppies are a bit different because they're kind of the same thing, but I guess it is different because I've got like dragon guppies, which I started with Dumbo dragon guppies. So they got like the big ears and longish fins. So they kind of slowed down a bit, which I thought might help with them picking off the odd shrimp, which worked well. And then I've got just common bristlenose in the bottom of that tank. All three are breeding. And then in the tank above, I've got koi tuxedo guppies, which are a bit smaller, a bit more nimble, and peppermint bristlenose. So yeah, I've found all three of them are going to breed again. So or are breeding again. So yeah, I like that combo, but that's kind of a heated tank because of the guppies and bristlenose. But actually, all three of those will tolerate a cooler environment too. So yeah, you could certainly do that in an unheated tank in parts of the world. What else do I have them in? I have them in with celestial peldanios. I have them in with emerald raspberries. I have them in with... Oh, don't put them in with rainbow fish though, because they love a snack of a cherry shrimp. And yeah, most things you can keep them with. Just like the general rule, if they can fit in their mouth, they probably will. So if you do want to test it out with a fish, is this a good idea? Yeah, I'd just test it out slowly. I was going to say put them in first and let the colony establish, and then if any do get eaten. But actually what I'd suggest is get a colony established, put one of the fish that you're trying to experiment with in, and just monitor it very closely, because what happened more recently with my blues was I rescaped my better sorority, and I thought just one night we'll put him in with the blue dreams. One night, and yeah, they did the damage in one night. So don't recommend doing that, but these things happen and it's a learning experience. Neons can get a bit hungry too. Yeah. And like with anything, I mean, just you can also always make sure that the fish are really well fed. I mean, there will be times like if you go away on holidays or whatever, but hopefully by the time that happens, they're already accustomed to eating the food rather than eating the shrimp. So make sure that if you are going to experiment with a shrimp and a fish, keep the fish really well fed, at least for the early parts of testing out that combination. You should be okay. What's going on? Oh, there's some disease chat happening in here. Red heart shape on the underside. Interesting. Cool. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, and pygmy coras are also a great companion for these guys. I think that's a really nice looking nano tank too. And actually, just on that topic, I noticed the behavior in the pygmy coras was very different in the planted cherry shrimp tank versus by their own. When I moved them out to breed them, put them by themselves, they just huddled up in the corner, hiding, scared. Potentially because I broke the trust by netting them, but beforehand, when they were in with the cherry shrimp, they used to actually form a really tight school and swim around in the sort of mid water column. So it's really interesting. I noted the other day in my unboxing video of the sparkling gouramis as well. Was it the sparkling gouramis? No, it was something else. CPDs maybe. That yeah, it was the CPDs. That because there were so many cherry shrimp out and about, the CPDs are kind of like, well, nothing's predating on them, so it's safe for me to come out. So I believe that to be the case. Is cherry shrimp can be a great dither, although they might not seem like they would make a great dither because they're not very active swimming around and stuff. I think that actually having a small little crustacean out and about, brave, not worrying about what's going to come by and eat it, then other fish sort of get more confident by association as well. So that might be a good tip for you too if you've got some shy fish thrown. I mean, like a bunch. You need a heap of cherry shrimp, and yeah, by association, you might find that those fish are more brave. Also, snails and shrimp tanks and aquatic crabs. Oh yeah, some little micro crabs would be pretty cool too. All right, we'll keep moving because we do still have. Oh gosh, we might have to drop a few off the list, or we'll just keep moving through. So next one are barbs. These are my personal favorites here, Odessa barbs. But there are also rosy barbs, cherry barbs, gold barbs, bunch of barbs. I would recommend keeping these guys only with other barbs because they can be a bit nippy. They get sort of like more chunkier size. Can't know if you can see that, like that sort of size. But yeah, you can get them in a bunch of different colors as well and breed them too. So barbs are cool. But yeah, they just are a little bit higher on the aggression scale than some of the other options. But if you keep them by themselves, no problems there. Another cool option if you're looking for a tetra, blood fin tetras. Once again, it might be a bit of an availability issue whether or not you can actually find these guys, but cool water tetras would make for a really active non-heated tank, so that could be another option for you there. Yeah, as you can see, like I certainly wanted to provide a photo of these guys. These guys are absolutely stunning. Another tetra option is a Buenos Aires tetra, similar to the other one as well. Alrighty, if you want a live bearer option, I would suggest more so than guppies, endless, taters. I was thinking about adding Otto Cinclus affinis to one of my shrimp tanks. Yeah, I've got Ottos in with my shrimp, assuming that they're not like giant Ottos. Let me make sure that the affinis isn't the giant affinis Otto. Golden Otto. Ooh, they're a nice looking fish. Oh no, that's a normal one. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got those in with my shrimp. No dramas at all. You'll be absolutely fine with that. Yeah, so I like endless. They seem to be a bit more hardy. You can get some nice luminescent colors out of these guys, and they're a tiny size, but yeah, there's lots of different options. These guys on the screen, I think, black bar endless. I'm no endler expert though, but you can get all sorts of tuxedo colors, different. Oh, another endler that I'm keen on, that I'm a fan of, is the Ginga Rubra endlers too. Yeah, blonde endlers, which are more my go. But yeah, endlers are a good option too. And as we sort of said earlier, the more generations you have, the more hardy they'll be over time as well. Otters are strictly herbivores, or are the giants different? I just wasn't sure about the giants, so I didn't want to say that giants are going to be fine because I have never kept them. So that was the point of understanding that further. Yeah, and I didn't know if it was like you know how some of the L number placos are carnivorous and some of them are herbivorous. I just didn't know if that was the case with the giant otter. That's all. It's got 15 minutes, so that's pretty good. If anybody here does know if Q Aquatics is going, certainly chuck a link and all that, or if anyone's next after me. New time slot, obviously, I'm not sure of the goings on of who's next, but I thought there was somebody scheduled in. Let's choose the next one. Oh, I really like the next one, actually. I'm really keen on these. I know that I think you have a couple of these, Jesse, and these might be on the list. Paradise fish. So they're in the gourami / betta family. Great cool water option. Labyrinth organ. So they're going to be a bit more forgiving on the water parameters, although I would never recommend letting the water parameters get to a point where you would need a fish that will be tolerant of those. But I certainly love a bit of a paradise fish. Oh, thanks, Zen. Yeah, so all right. So Q Aquatics is next, so we'll tune into that one, and I'll make sure that I don't go over. I thought that was a black butt endler. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's just a normal black butt endler, but endlers are like a whole thing amongst themselves. There's this guy in the upper end of Queensland here who gets really into endlers, and he puts a lot of photos on social media, and yeah, it's crazy the stuff that you can get. Like, there's all these classes apparently, N class, K class, all sorts of things. So obviously there's like top sword, bottom sword, lyre-tail, same sort of things as what you get with guppies, but yeah, endlers, there's a whole side hobby of endler breeding and keeping. See you, Max. Thanks for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate that. All right, so yeah, paradise fish, cool. Bubble nests and stuff. So similar to bettas and gouramis, you just don't want to keep too many males together, or no males together, ideally, just because they will be aggressive to other males. But you can permanently keep one male in with female paradise fish, and yeah, they make little bubble nests and all that. So what else have I got here for paradise fish? Yeah, so that's all good. Next one, where's my thing going? Next one might stir up a bit of controversy because similar to endlers, there's a whole side hobby of this one too. But look at that cute little face. Who could say no to an axolotl? Classification of them is pretty easy, but yeah, there are a few endler nerds over there. Yeah. There was one that he put up a while back which was like pink and had pink. It was like pink lines and orange spots or something like that, and it was a great looking endler. If we do have time, I'll pull up maybe a photo of that too, and we'll have a bit of a look. Yeah, paradise fish are awesome. I definitely need to try those out at some point. Actually, yeah, a couple of escapes that I've got coming up. I might put a paradise fish or two in there. Yeah, axolotls are cool. Uh, they are the larval form of salamanders. So caring for them, you got to kind of think that they're actually. Oh, I might get pulled up here, but I think salamanders are lizards. But somebody might say it's not a lizard; it's a aquatic gecko or something like that. But as far as this stream's going to go, they're related to lizards, I guess. Scaleless, so that does come with a bit of a raft of. They're susceptible to certain things, ick and all that. Amphibians, there we go. Thanks, Teresa. I knew somebody would correct me. Yeah, there we go. Is a salamander an amphibian? Well, you learn something new every day. Outside of fish, yeah, I'm no good at anything. All right. Not even that good at fish. So they do produce like big, not a huge quantity, but large size waste, and they have big mouths. So you want to watch for things like impaction. If you keep them on gravel and stuff like that, they might accidentally eat a bit of gravel, and that could become an issue. Trying to pass that, they will also have a little go at some fish and stuff like that if you keep them with fish. Some people actually feed them live fish and stuff like that. So they are carnivores. The trick with axolotls is you actually need to keep them really cool. So 14 to 18 Celsius, 57 to 64 Fahrenheit. But they're so cool. And if you do feed them like a nice food like bloodworms or whatever, particularly in these leucistic varieties, their fins, their gills will turn bright red. So that's kind of really cool too. One of my LFS, those mud skippers were amphibians. Oh yeah, I guess I can sort of see it with mud skippers because they kind of look like tadpoles and stuff. But yeah, anyway, that's a whole different world that I haven't dipped my toe in yet. So yeah, axolotls are certainly on the. Oh, we've got more controversy here. So yeah, I don't know all that side of things. I just think it can go. Yeah, it can go anyway. So yeah, axolotls are certainly on the list to keep, and they're really cool. So I don't have a picture, but I also am a big fan of emerald raspberries and CPDs, and I did want to mention that those guys can go down quite cool as well. To 21 Celsius, 73 Fahrenheit, they can actually go down to. So what was the temperature? It's going to be different here, but 18 Celsius here. So we're only really 3 degrees off keeping emerald raspberries or CPDs in an unheated tank here. So pretty interesting that a lot of fish out there that you probably already keep, if you have a bit of a closer look, you might notice that the heater that you're running is actually redundant, and whatever your general room temperature is, they'll probably be able to handle that perfectly fine anyway. Hey, Chappie, thanks for coming. 7 minutes until we wind up, though, unfortunately. So what we might do is have a bit of a look at what these other fish were. So Taters was talking about the hemigrammus. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, pretty cool. How am I going to show this? So I'll just quickly. It's going to be a bit clunky, but we'll bring it up on screen. So many buttons to click. You know how this goes. Hemi, I put it as. So we might get an engine picture here. All right. There's a hemigrammus Morse code, kind of glass-looking fish, which is kind of cool. I'm into those. So apparently those are shrimp safe. Doesn't say what temperature they can go down to, but yeah, interesting. And what was the other one? Jesse was talking about kohaku rice fish. Oh yeah, let's have a look. So yeah, hopefully. Thanks, Teresa. tried to make sure I didn't put any bad information out there. Go Hockey Rice. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this stream. I tried to get as much in there as we could, trying to guess how much the hour would go. I think we got pretty close there. So, oh yeah, Kohaku, right? Referring to the koi. How can I do this? I should. Sorry, I'm no good at doing multiple things at once. But yes, 5 minutes to go until Q Aquatics kicks off. So head over there if you are keen to continue watching and listening to your favorite aquatic streamers. There's the Kohaku rice fish there. Bodgy is strolled in, so it is a good time to wrap up now. But actually, if you are here and you haven't seen Bodgy from Australia, he is really close to 200 subscribers. I think he's only about 20 off, so certainly I'll do my bit and plug another Australian while I've got the opportunity. And that will just about wrap it up. So if anyone has any further questions, certainly pop them down below. Bodgy channel. And I'll try my best to answer them. But yeah, this is how my usual stream goes. And I think today was a bit of a success. So it's quite possible that I might be looking for a time slot like this in the future. If not, I do my usual streams at Thursday nights my time, which I think is equivalent of like 3 a.m. Wednesday nights Eastern Standard Time in the USA. So I understand that a lot of you might not be able to catch it live, but certainly if you do have any questions you want me to cover on a particular topic, just feel free to shoot them through to me, potentially via the Blake's Aquatics Facebook page, and I'll certainly include that content in future live streams. No worries. No worries then. I even put the detail there, which is, just going above and beyond there. So that's okay. I need not have worried. Pacific blue eyes, beetlelings, perch, numerous gudgeons. Yeah, Lyndon, some other great options there. The blue eyes I know a bit about, but I'm not so sure on some of the others. So I try to stick to fish that I know about where I can. So perch are a great option actually if you want to do some aquaponics and grow up some fish for food. So a lot of people grow up jade perch down here to eat. So they will, just be careful with chemicals and stuff if you do want to do that. Although it might understandably be a bit jarring to talk about eating fish in a aquarium related live stream. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this topic. Don't think I've missed any questions. It's great having you all here. Appreciate you all swinging by and your great contributions in the chat. So let me bring up the screen and I think we'll wrap it up here. Head over to Q Aquatics for the next live stream. I'll hopefully see you there and had a great time. So take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day or evening or whatever the time is. See ya.